All right. So we are live right now. And if you see in the upper left-hand corner, it says live for 8 seconds and counting.
Nope.
And maybe it doesn't show it on yours because you're not.
Oh, I see it. I see it.
You do? Okay.
Okay. 20 seconds, 21, 22. Got it.
All right. So I just tagged you. And the beautiful thing about this app is that, well, sometimes it will do the subtitles for you.
Okay, review now.
Okay. So yeah, so just accept it. All right.
Good. I accepted it.
Did you?
I don't know where to accept it.
So when you go into your notifications and you hit review, it should give you something that says okay or approve, and then it'll go to your page. Hey, we have somebody that's joined us. We're just getting started, so welcome. If you would, let us know who you are, where you're from. We're just getting some of the logistics out of the way. So I'm going to go to your page also and see if I see it. Okay, I don't see it yet.
Okay.
So you went to notifications, right?
It looks like this.
That's what it says. That's what it looks like on your page.
It says that that's my timeline review.
Yeah, so you should say something like okay or accept or approve or something.
It doesn't give me any.
Good evening, those of you that are joining. We're getting ready to get started here in just a second. Just trying to make sure that we get everything situated here on Facebook. Want to make sure that we're on Omara's page as well. So thank you for your patience. If you're here for Mind Mending Monday, you are in for a treat. So do me a favor, because we can't see everyone that comes in. So say hello to us. Let us know that you're watching.
Okay, you guys know how I am about technology, so I'm working on it. Let me see. I do not see it. Let me see. Okay, that wasn't correct.
So how about this? Why don't you go to my profile page and see if you can tag yourself or share it to your own page, if it'll let you do it.
Oh, this is horrible. Okay, share to my page's story or?
No, just share it to your page. So yeah, when you hit share, it should say sharing as you.
It just says post it.
Yes. Okay. All right. Thank you for those of you that are watching, that are being patient as we are.
I am so sorry, guys.
Hang on with us for a few minutes. You will not be disappointed. I promise you. All right. Brakita Martin is in the building. Okay. It is live on your page, Omara.
Okie dokie. Hallelujah. Okay, so I don't have to look at that anymore.
You do not have to look at that anymore. Put it down. We're good.
Well, happy Monday. Happy Monday. All right, so if you are streaming right now, you are streaming live on my Mending Monday with me, Omara Lee. I am your life coach. I am a learning enthusiast, wellness enthusiast. And today we have a wonderful, wonderful topic. But before we get into the topic, I do want to introduce this lovely man right here. And this is Teray Deaver. He wears many, many hats, one of them being the pastor of the Carpenters Church, which is in Paris, California. And you can follow him if you do not have a place to worship on Facebook.com/WeBuildPeople, or you can follow him on Instagram at WeBuildPeople, because that's what he does, which is why we connected. It's going to be awesome. You guys you'll see. So topic today is Danger Will Robinson. Okay. Danger Will Robinson. And what that means is it's something that goes on inside of our body when everything is not okay. It's like, I forget that one movie when they're like, I'm not okay. It's something that's going on the inside of us. And I like that saying, Danger Will Robinson, because most of the time, if you are familiar with this show, little Will never knew what was going on. He had all these wonderful ideas and things he wanted to do, but the robot would be like, Danger Will Robinson. You know, my mom has a saying, she always says that the idea is good, but the mood wasn't cool. So in that, it's like we have these things that's going on inside of us. The idea is good. You know, we think we're okay, but the move that comes afterwards usually is not good. So what we're going to do today is we're just going to go into the different triggers or things that you can use to identify when things are a little bit out of balance. So the first thing I wanted to talk about was a baseline. Now, a baseline basically is what is your sense of normalcy. And that's different and is tailor-made for each individual. Everybody has their own baseline. It's that state where everything is well. You don't have to be super happy. You don't have to be super sad, but everything is well, you know, where you can just say, hey, today's a good day. That's usually your baseline. Now, I'm going to stay on baseline just for a quick minute because you have to understand the importance of it. If you do not know what your baseline is, it's hard to find out, or I guess track, when you're too high, when you're too low, when you're like on the verge. And so it's really important. So that would be like the first thing that I would want you just to put it in your head right now. Like, what's my sense of normalcy? What's my baseline? So the other word I want to introduce to you is imbalance. Now, imbalance is different because imbalance is always going to be that state of being out of balance or out of equilibrium. So it's whenever you start feeling like, you know how sometimes when you're starting to get sick and you're not really sure, but you're like, I just don't feel good. I'm not sick. I don't have a temperature. I don't, nothing's hurting me. I just don't feel good. That's another way of knowing, okay, there's an imbalance. That's Danger Will Robinson. Something is definitely wrong. So what we're looking at right now is trying to get to a point where we can feel or sense an imbalance before becoming imbalanced, if that makes sense. So Now go with me. As we're going through our normal everyday, day to day, we may come in contact with a lot of things that's going on around us that may trigger or cause something else to happen on the inside of us that we may not be aware of. Once that trigger happens, then there's usually something that happens afterwards that could either become that's either not pleasant or that could cause the big bang. So, what are triggers? Triggers are different for everybody. It could be the seasons. It could be something that, like right now, we are getting ready for Christmas. We just came off of Thanksgiving. This is a major one for many, many people because some people are excited. It's their first season together. They've newly married, or they may be having a new child. Some people are remembering this is their first year without a loved one. Some people are so far away from their loved ones because of the current pandemic where they're having to spend holidays alone. Adding, if you're in California, we've been having gloomy days, a little bit of rain, a little bit of sun. That helter-skelter weather sometimes can be another trigger. When you start thinking about triggers, I want you to think about senses. Your senses is usually what gets triggered. So anything that you can smell, that you can see, that you can touch, that you can hear, it's something that triggers and activates something in your brain that your brain will remember. I've had an experience here. This is reminding me of something. And so I know that I just kind of jumped in. So I'm going to back up a little bit so that we understand why we're discussing this. So the reason why we're having Mending Mondays is because, like I stated before, if you've ever followed me on Instagram, I absolutely love Mondays because Mondays is the first day you get to start over. It's like hitting that reset button. It's like, okay, it's Monday. I got like 6 days to get it right. So I love that. And so when you start approaching Monday and start approaching like the first day of the week, sometimes we bring in last week. Sometimes we're still trying to shake off Sunday. And so Mondays are very important because it's the way you see it. So what I wanted to do was to bring in something that gives you a kickstart, something that says, hey, it's Monday, but it's not a moody Monday. It ain't the Monday blues. It's not none of that. This is an opportunity for me to start my week off right. So having said that, now I'm going to fast forward back up to where I was talking about the triggers. So Monday, just the word Monday for some people is a trigger. I'm not ready. We don't want to go back. We don't want to go back to work. We don't want to start the grind. We don't want to do none of that. We like, why we can't get 3 weekends? Why we got to have just the 2 days and the 5? It's a whole situation. I mean, like the alarm gets thrown across the room. Some people, it's just like, I don't care. I'm being late today. I don't care. It's Monday. Mondays can be a trigger for many people. But I want you to start looking at Mondays as something new, a new opportunity, a new chance, a new way to change, something that, you say, well, this Monday, I think I'm going to dig a little deeper. I'm going to try to work on my attitude this week. I'm going to try to work on my, relationship with my spouse or with my children this week. I'm going to try to find something that's going on in your life. But before you can get to that part, you have to first realize there's an imbalance. So hence the triggers. Now, let's try to wrap this bit that I've just said, because I realized that was a lot of information for about 5 minutes of conversation. So within the triggers, there is a reaction that's going on in your body, in your mind. Everything is being triggered. It's not just something that happens. It's like this major explosion that goes on. And for many of us, we're already in the reaction phase before we realize that we've been triggered. So that trigger is very, very important. Why? Because like I said, it shows you that there is a problem. Now, let's look at some of the things or some of the areas that we may be wanting to mend or possibly fix. Some of us may need to put a splint on some things. Some of us it's just broken and we need some glue. We need like some duct tape. We need something to kind of bring it back together. So I'm going to use relationships since that's the most common area that usually needs mending. We're going to start with relationships. How do you know a relationship is in that Danger Will Robinson state? Now, this relationship can be husband, it can be wife, it can be employer, it can be child, it can be whoever in your life right now that you're in a relationship with and you are becoming triggered. Now, let's think of some triggers when we're talking about relationship. And if you have some, shoot them to me. Shoot these relationship triggers to me because I want to make sure that you're understanding that we're on the same page. So it could be your phone rings. You see the name. Some of us have given that one irritable person, they got a ringtone. So we know it's them before we even reach into our purse to get the phone out. And when you hear it, everything in you just be like, why? And so that is a trigger. That's a trigger. Sometimes you can hear a person's voice and everything in here just starts tripping. It just starts tripping. Some of us say we're okay. Let's just say you and your cousin fell out, but you said you've forgiven this person. Everything's great. Y'all get to the family reunion. As soon as you see them, you like on site. I swear, on site. You can't even get it together. You can't. It's going down. And you thought you were okay. You really thought you were okay until you saw them. And when you saw them, everything started going helter-skelter. So let's go back to our body. You're in this situation. Let's take the phone call. The phone rings and you hear the ringtone. Matter of fact, that would be too easy. We're not going to use a ringtone. The phone just rings. You're upstairs, your phone's downstairs. You take off, high knees. You sprint to get to the phone, right? You get to the phone and you see the name. In that moment, something begins to happen. Normalcy has left the building. There is no more normalcy because now something happens on the inside. And we've discussed this before. Anybody who has followed me on Instagram. So I want you guys to chime in if you guys are remembering this. The body temperature begins to change. The inside, you start getting hot. That thermostat, it starts getting warm. Sometimes our heart starts beating fast. It's almost like a panic attack, depending on what name shows up. You start getting those heart palpitations. Sometimes you start getting sweaty. Your palms get sweaty. Some people get really dry mouth. Your mouth gets dry. I had a situation where the person literally made me itch, where it was just kind of like, oh, I don't know if all of a sudden I got eczema or what, but this person made me itch. I got to scratching and I was just like, this is not good. It was like dandruff. Everything was going down. Every part of my body seemed dry. Those are triggers that something is wrong. Danger Will Robinson. Whoever this person is now a trigger for you. And this person can be your mother, your in-law, your somebody that you have to deal with all the time, but it's causing a lot of friction. Something is wrong. This relationship needs mending. So, where do we go from there? Where do we go from there? Part of it is taking ownership and responsibility for what you are feeling. Taking responsibility as a member or a participant in this relationship. Okay, I gotta now take responsibility. I feel this going on inside of me. This person has now become a trigger for me. And I need to now decide, is it mending? Is it fractured? Is it broken? What's going on in this relationship? And is it worth saving? As you know, I'm always about reducing or decreasing suffering. Always trying to find a way to reduce suffering. So where do we go from there? Now we realize, okay, there's a problem. We realize, okay, is this relationship worth saving? Absolutely. I'm going to answer that one for you because every relationship is necessary. Every single one. And yes, I'm bold enough to say, even the abuser, not saving as far as having an intimate relationship with them, but saving in the sense that there is nobody that comes in our life that did not have a purpose. Every person you come in contact with, the grocer, the person that's the mailman, the one that the Amazon guy, every person you come in contact with has a purpose in your life. And if they're in your life for any longer than 5 minutes, you better pay attention. You better pay attention because iron sharpens iron. And even the most adverse person, that cantankerous one, that one that you just be like, God, they were necessary. Were they necessary, really? That person, yeah, that person that gives that face, that person is necessary because they make you better. They make you become the you that you have always been meant to be. They push you. They push you to be more patient. They push you to be more kind. They push you to be more loving. They push you to step outside of your right to allow somebody else to be. And I know that doesn't always sit well with people, but people who rub you the wrong way sometimes can be your best catalyst to becoming the best you. So once you've decided that this person is worth saving, and I really hope that you do, then now you begin to start your journey to healing or to mending the relationship. But the triggers are going to be the most important right now. Is coming to understand, hey, I'm triggered. Now, what do we usually want to do when we're triggered? We want to eliminate the thing that's triggering us. We want that person out of our lives. We cut them off. We call them toxic. This is toxic. Everything's toxic, really. Everybody's like, if you don't agree with me, you're toxic. If if you make me too uncomfortable, you're toxic. And I get it. You have those people that just drain your energy. You have those people that just set you where you just be like, okay, if Jesus come back today, ain't no guarantee I'm making it in. So I get that. You have those people. But okay, that picture, squirrel. Okay. Yeah, I know. You guys know that I will start seeing squirrels when something throws me off. It is like squirrels, something has my attention. Okay. Yes. I digress. Okay. So yes, you have that person that makes you want to just lose it. Just your head is off, like Teray put up there. Yes. So you have that person, but I'm going to just strongly encourage you to, before you throw them away, before you excommunicate them, before you get rid of them completely, ask yourself, have I gotten the best out of this person being in my life? Has the purpose been fulfilled for this person being in my life? I understand they irritate me. I understand that it causes much confusion. I understand, but have I gotten the best? And if the answer, if you can't answer that question, because I understand that when there's pain involved, the answer is yes, I've gotten all I'm going to get. I'm done. I get that. But there's a purpose that person has in your life. And if you get rid of that person, you may just be getting rid of that part of the puzzle that makes everything complete. So what I would encourage for today, for this Mending Monday, is to find your balance, find your normalcy. What is my normal? What is my resting? You know, they say this is your resting face. What is your resting emotion? What does that feel like? And the next time that something triggers you or something angers you or something frustrates you, then I want you to pay attention. Pay attention to what's happening inside of your body. Pay attention to the thoughts that's going through your mind. Pay attention to your surroundings. And try to take note, take a mental note. If you are in a position to actually write it down, I'm going to encourage you to actually write down, this is what I'm feeling. This is what I'm thinking. This is what I'm experiencing right now with this person. And then we're going to discuss step 2, what that would look like once you realize that you are out of balance. So what I want to do is, and that's your homework, because next week, I want to hear all about what those triggers were, what you felt in your body, what is normalcy for you. Some people live right here. They're just high strung. That's normal. And then anything past that, that's like paramedic stuff. You know, that's the 911, that's the phone call, but they kind of rest right here. And that's okay if that's your normalcy, but you have to know that. You have to know what some people are so chill. My husband is so chill on a daily basis that it's like, if he goes any lower, you like, Sanka, you're dead, man. It's you think that it's dude, how much cooler can you get? But because he's so cool, it's very easy to find out when he's going up here. So that would be your homework assignment. Now, next week, when we come in, I'm going to be like going over if there was any comments. And if you didn't and you're watching this late, it's still plenty of time to do some kind of comment. You can reach out to me. You can say, hey, I wasn't able to watch it live, but I really wanted to talk about this particular trigger. Everybody has something different. Like I said, it's unique to each person. So reach out to me. So next week we can go over some of these triggers and kind of, we're here to help each other. It's a Mending Monday. It's something that gives you a fresh start. And this, I do believe, is going to help give us a fresh start. The more we know about ourselves, the better we can become, because now we know those areas that may not necessarily be where we want them to be. So I'm hoping that sounds good. I'm hoping that you got something out of this today, and that next week, because we're just going to be building. And I know right now, especially if you've already been on my Instagram, you're like, we've heard this before, but we're building something now because we're coming in every Monday. Every Monday, I'm going to be here. We're going to discuss this, and we're going to build to where we start troubleshooting, where we start solving some problems. Now, I know that even this conversation alone may be a trigger. And again, I'm always available. If you reach me at OmaraLee.com, you can go to my website. You can also go to my Instagram at OmaraLee. and reach me there. But I really want us to do some self exploration where we're starting to get to know ourselves, because regardless of the trigger, the reality is that the onus is on us. How we respond, how we choose to take it, if we choose to be offended, if we choose to turtle, which is like a term that we use that means going into our shell and staying there for a while because it's safe. However we decide to respond is really on us. So I do thank you guys for taking time out. And I don't know, did we have any questions or anything, Mr. Ture?
Not at this time. A lot of people are chiming in, just saying hello and just agreeing with what you were saying. A couple people, one person, I'll go ahead and put this one up. You had made a comment about running down the stairs to go get your phone and don't want it, and about getting violent. And she said, till the white meat show.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. You spent all that energy. You did that 50-yard dash just to get there, and it's somebody you didn't even want to talk to in the first place. So I totally get it. I totally get it.
Great. So one thing I just wanted to say, first of all, thank you all for joining us, whether you're watching us live or whether you're catching this on the replay. Just wanted to, let you guys know that this, as Amara was saying, is going to be an every Monday thing, but it's going to be a quick, it's 30 minutes. We're not here to solve your entire life, but here to give you some tools and some insights. Maybe there's something that Amara said that would cause you to relate, something that she said that caused her, yeah, I know exactly what she's talking about. And maybe something she said you had no idea. I've had the privilege of knowing this young lady for a little bit. And when she first told me about understanding normalcy and balance, I actually started putting it into action. So my wife hit one of my triggers, and I felt it. Teeth clenching, I felt, temperature rising, and not in the R. Kelly way. But here's the thing, because I owned it, I expressed it, that actually, diffused the entire situation, because it was almost like, squirrels, right? And it diffused it. But the idea was, and this is one thing that it was big for me, was just taking ownership of how I'm feeling. And understanding that I'm reacting because I feel a certain way. And then when I can recognize and take ownership, it definitely helps. So I definitely want to just encourage those of you, if this is your first time joining us, and this is our first session, but if this is the first time hearing something like this, I want to encourage you to share this broadcast and to connect with Amara. You see her credentials below, as where you can reach her on her website, Facebook, and IG. And listen, come back next Monday. Tell somebody else about it, and because we are going to be digging into some things that I think is going to really help some people. So I'm excited about it, Omar.
Now, and thinking about that emotion, there's something that happens, and I'm hoping that I can maybe touch on it next week. But it's actually a regression that occurs when we get triggered, and because it takes us back to an earlier time. And in order for you to go back to an earlier time, you're now responding from an earlier age. Wow. And we have to, we're going to get there to where you actually realize that, yeah, I am acting like a 7-year-old. Sometimes people say things to us, it triggers us, and it reminds us of when my mom, or, we say, oh, don't yell at me. I don't like them high tones, because the high tone is a trigger, because it reminds us when we were 7. And if we don't verbalize that, if we're not strong enough or in a healthy enough state of mind to say, okay, I'm feeling like I'm 7, but I'm not 7. So let me get this together. to be able to respond appropriately, what we end up doing is responding out of that age. And you have adults having adult tantrums. So, yeah, but we'll talk about that as we grow. And it's going to take some steps where we can't just jump in there, because then people will start drowning because you're not properly prepared. And my thing is to prepare us as we go higher and higher and higher. And yeah, so stay tuned. And you know, we're kind of going past right now, but it's 30 minutes. So this ain't one of those that you can finish eating or wait until the sitcom go off and jump in last minute. It's gonna be done. It's gonna be over with. So it's usually from 6 to 6:30. I don't know. I should have put it on the flyer because I know, you know, some people be on that other time. I ain't gonna go there, but you know. So yeah, and again, right. Squirrels. So but yeah, it's gonna be real. I'm really, really excited. I'm excited about where this is gonna go. And I'm hoping that I can start making Monday your best weekday. So I'm gonna say goodbye unless there's anything else or any other comments that I need to know about, Mr. Teray.
No, not this time. We have people that are just saying they're excited, sharing, awesome, loving it. So I think this is going to be really good. I think it's going to be really good.
So do I. So for those of you guys who just joined us late, thank you for coming. Thank you for supporting. But I'm out of here. I got to go get me something to eat. And I will see you guys next week. Love you. Thank you for joining my Mending Mondays. I'm out.